Hello everybody, this is Chris with TimeshareRenters.com. Today is August 31st of 2023, and I want to get into some timeshare talk. This is going to be another episode of Timeshare Talk. So about 2 weeks ago, I made a video and it was titled Timeshare Upfront Scam Warning. And on that video, in the comment section, a YouTube user by the name of Joshua actually commented, and his comment was pretty simple. He said, never get a timeshare. So in today's episode of Timeshare Talk, I kind of want to respond to that. So, hello Joshua, I hope all is well. But I want to get into at least my opinions on never to get a time on whether you should get a timeshare or not, or if you should feel the same way in regards to never getting a timeshare. So my opinion is, do I agree with that comment? No. And I'll tell you why. Do I agree with a percentage of that comment? Or should I say, is there a percentage of me that agrees? Yes. And let me further explain. Will I say never get a timeshare? No. Will I say never get an overpriced timeshare or a timeshare in which you are paying a monthly mortgage? Yes. I would say in that regard, yes, I agree wholeheartedly with that. Let me explain. In the timeshare industry, and some of you may have heard me say this before, there's two extremities when it comes to timeshare owners. You have people that love their timeshare, people that hate their timeshare, and you really don't have really much in the middle. And the reason being is because, in my opinion, the deceit starts with the way that the resorts sell the timeshare. If you ask me, the timeshares are overpriced. You got timeshares for $30,000. The average timeshare of 2022, I know we're in 2023, but taking a YTD going off of last year, the average timeshare in 2022 sold for just over $27,000. Okay. In many cases, you'll have people that have timeshare that they bought for $30,000. You might have some that have bought it for $15,000, $20,000. To me, all of that is overpriced. And most people are not going to have disposable income to just go and buy a timeshare without making a down payment, financing the timeshare, and then having a monthly mortgage. So in my opinion, when it comes to Joshua's comment, I wouldn't say never get a timeshare. I would say don't get an overpriced timeshare. Don't get a timeshare in which you are going to be hooked on a monthly mortgage. I don't like that. When any of my clients come in like that, I try to help them as best as I can. Going back to deceit, and one way that we will clean up the industry, and I'm actually fighting to clean the industry, is the resorts really need to stop with the way that they sell the timeshares. I completely disagree with the way that most resorts sell their timeshares. And here's the way that they do it. They sell the timeshares the same way that you would if you were to go fishing. If you go fishing, you put a piece of bait at the end of the rod, which may be a worm or something that looks like a worm, something that would make a fish think that it's food, and then the fish bites it and then realize that the fish bit into a hook, and it's too late. This is a similar strategy that the resorts do when they sell the timeshare. When they sell the timeshare, most timeshare owners are not going to the presentation to buy a timeshare. They're going to a presentation because the bait that the resort used was, if you sit through this 90-minute presentation, you'll get this reward, whether it be a gift certificate, whether it be a voucher to Disney, whether it be a voucher to a cruise, or just whatever the gift is, whether it be cash. Sometimes the resorts actually give cash. And if you think, even if they have a presentation where there's 30 people that's in it, and let's say they do 5 of those, what would that be? 150 people. If they do that a day, one timeshare, even if the majority of the people don't, so 5 times 30 is 150. So even if 149 don't buy the timeshare, if one person buys a timeshare, that's going to pay for all of that times what, 20. So that's why they're able to do this kind of bait move, or I call it a hoodwink type of thing, where they tell you, sit through the presentation, and it comes in the form of like a solicitation. You might be in the resort, and you might be, I've been in the resorts myself, and go to the bathroom mirror, and you see on the mirror a little thing stuck on the mirror. You know, if you're interested in a cruise to XYZ or whatever the gift is, sit through this 90-minute presentation, you know, that's down on the first floor on from this time to this time, and you'll get it. And then what happens is, if you end up getting a timeshare, that wasn't the reason why you went to the presentation. And now you got a timeshare, let's say, be it $30,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. You make this down payment, and now you're on the hook for the monthly mortgage that you owe whoever financed it to you, whether the resort financed it or if they used a third party, in addition to your annual or biannual maintenance fees. So now, when it goes back to those two extremities that I was talking about, you could see how people fall into the extremity of hating the timeshare. And they will say things like, never get a timeshare. I'm not sure if Joshua, if you yourself have a timeshare, or if you're just going off of what you've heard, but you're going to hear a lot of people on that far extremity. You're going to hear famous people like Dave Ramsey, and just many people are going to say, no, never get a timeshare. Then you're going to hear of people who love their timeshare, people who are renting out their timeshare. Let me explain that extremity. If you get a timeshare either inherited to you, or if you get a timeshare from someone who wants to give it away, and let's say the timeshare's paid off and you don't have a monthly mortgage on it, or let's say when you initially bought the timeshare, you bought it at a price where where you were able to cover it, and you don't have a monthly mortgage. Either way, even if you do have a small monthly mortgage, the point I'm getting to is that if you're someone who's traveling and renting, you might actually be on the extremity of actually liking your timeshare, and many people are. Then you might say, well, Chris, if I only have 1 week out of the year and I rent that's not much passive income. And you know what I would say to you is, you are 1,000% correct. I know that my company is called TimeshareRenters.com, but the bulk of our rentals are actually getaway weeks. So when you have a timeshare, you're able to pair your timeshare with certain exchange companies that allow you to get what are called getaway weeks. And what a getaway week is it's an extremely discounted week that you can purchase. And when I say discounted, I mean extremely discounted, that you can purchase it and you can thus turn around and rent and make a pretty solid profit. And with the getaway weeks, it's not limited. With your deeded time from the timeshare, yes, you either got 1 week a year or 2 weeks, just whatever you signed up for. You know, because some people might have signed up for an upgraded package where they have more weeks. So let's say the points, let's say if you're on a point system, and you know your points equate to 4 weeks a year, just whatever it is, there's going to be some sort of a limitation. But with the getaway weeks, the limitation is as long as they have the availability and as long as you have the budget. So you can kind of purchase as many getaway weeks as is available that you want, that meets the budget. So the bread and butter when it comes to renting the timeshare really is the getaway weeks. If you can go to an exchange company off the street and just become a member without having a timeshare, oh yeah, I'd say do that. And then the name of my company will be Getaway Week Renters, as opposed to timeshare renters, you know. But in order for you to get the getaway weeks, you have to be a timeshare owner. So the people who love their timeshare are typically renting and getting good travel. They're doing both. The people that hate their timeshare were sold the timeshare with the bait strategy that I was and they weren't even interested in the first place. Now they go in there and they end up buying something that they weren't initially planning on buying. They went there for the gift That's the thing. That's what the resorts got to expect. If you make a solicitation saying, hey, if you sit through this, you're going to get this, the majority of the people that go to that are going to go for the gift. So that's automatically going to create deceit. It's deceitful. And then on top of that, the average the average presentation, that's why I don't even like saying 90 minutes. The average presentation is 4 hours. I don't know why the resorts say that it's a 90-minute presentation. I don't know why they do that. And I have another video where I have a one-word script that anybody can use to get out of a 90-minute presentation. If you go to a presentation, the resort promised you that it will be 90 minutes. Start your timer at the beginning of the presentation, and then at the 90-minute mark, I want you to say one word. I want you to say time. Or you can say two words. You can say time's up. Call it at the 90-minute mark and redeem whatever gift they promised you. That's what a lot of timeshare owners do who initially sat through the first presentation. When they go back to those, they do that because now they know. Now, the salesman or saleswoman is going to be aggressive, and they're going to try to say, but be stubborn. Time. You said 90 minutes. We're at the 90-minute mark. Time. That's a one-word script that you can use. So to Joshua's point, in a nutshell, I feel that it's a blanket statement to say never get a timeshare. What I would say, in my opinion, in regards to whether agreeing to your comment or not, is I don't want to see anybody who's a timeshare owner in a monthly mortgage. So as of now, I would say don't get a timeshare from the resort directly. And when I say as of now, that's because in my prediction, I believe that the industry is going to be cleaned up in the future. And one way that you clean the industry up, it really starts from the resorts. Stop with the hoodwink method. Stop telling people it's a 90-minute presentation when you know that it's longer than that. Stop with this reward thing and host the presentations specifically to people who are already interested in renting, people that are already renting their house or their vacation properties and things of that nature. Because now you can tell them about an investment that they can make in which they can rent without paying an HOA fee or dealing with depreciation, furniture depreciation from multiple people renting, skid marks on the walls, cutting the grass. You can flip getaways and you don't have to worry. Your cost of maintenance is the cost of the getaway week. So it could be a pretty sweet thing. That's why, don't take this as me being combative with Joshua. I encourage anybody, post your questions in the comment section, or send me a question to text me. My direct line is 407-964-5184. And I want to answer you. But that would be my opinion. And here's another way that I think that the resorts will eventually clean the industry up. Stop with this 30,000 stuff, this 20,000, 15,000. In my opinion, the average cost of a timeshare on market, not aftermarket, but initial market, should be $2,500, $2,000, maybe $1,500. A timeshare on the high end should be $5,000, and that should be it. Now, usually, folks that are getting timeshares now, that's how much they're putting down on their down payments. I believe that timeshare owners shouldn't even be putting down payments. They should just get the timeshare if they're interested in the timeshare. I think that 5,000 should be the cap mark. So 5,000 should be a timeshare like the Manhattan Club. See, nowadays, the Manhattan Club is extremely, extremely, extremely nice, extremely luxury. And when I say that the average timeshare is, in the 20 to 30,000, how last year it was 27,000, the Manhattan Club, people are getting that timeshare for 50,000, 60,000, 100,000, just depending on what the package is and how many weeks they're getting per year. I think that that's ridiculous. I think that it should be that the average is in the 2,000 area, 2,500, and the high end, like if it's a Manhattan Club or something extremely luxury, it should be 5,000. Then that should be it. That's going to clean the industry. And that's going that alone will clean the industry. I don't know why the resorts don't do that. You're already making a lot of money, even from non-timeshare owners, from people that are just booking directly through the resort to rent, or people that are paying on the market when they go on sites like Priceline and Travelocity, Expedia, things of that nature. Why do you have to have this 30,000 charge and you're getting so many people upset? Why? I don't understand. I don't agree with it. So I think that this will help clean the industry, and then it's going to eliminate for the other scams. Because what happens is, when you're a timeshare owner, sometimes you get kind of smacked around a little bit. You initially get smacked around from the resort. They told you about a 90-minute presentation that you get a gift for. Then you go into the presentation and you realize that it's longer than 90 minutes. The salesman or saleswoman is aggressive. They're trained to be aggressive. They're trained to have aggressive rebuttals. And again, after that, after you now have a monthly mortgage, you have these other companies that'll take advantage of the fact that you want to get out of your timeshare. So they're going to call you up, and they're even more aggressive, because they'll call you every single day. Just call you. And they all do the same thing. They'll pretend to do an evaluation on you and say, okay, well, listen, what size is your timeshare? How many units is it? Or if it's a point, if it's on the point system, how many points do you get per year or every other year? Okay, all right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna place you on a hold. Let me, blah, blah, blah. Then they put you on hold, and then they come back and they say, I can sell your timeshare for, boom, big amount, 30,000, 50,000. Okay. That's the name of their game. They take advantage of you, and then what you do, you buy into them, and then you never hear back from them. And the thing about them is, mostly in their contracts, the contract will literally say that the sale or rental of a timeshare is not guaranteed. And that's why that video that actually Joshua came from, I was actually speaking of that, about the upfront. Because the resorts will tell you, beware of the upfront companies. Well, the resort is an upfront company. You had to pay upfront when you got your timeshare. A vending machine is upfront. McDonald's is upfront. Any fast food is upfront. Any gas station is upfront. You got to pay for the gas upfront. The upfront is not the telltale sign on whether they're a scam company. We're an upfront company. The sign that you're looking for in regards to whether the company is a scam or not is, you need to be looking for some symptoms. Are they calling you every day? Are they aggressive? How do they behave when you tell them that you need to think about it? Do they get even more aggressive? Do they say things like, are you the one that wears the pants in your relationship? They will say that. I've had clients of mine that have said that, that they were told that to. If you come to timeshare renters, I have, on the rental side, I have 3 different tiers. I have a standard, a plus, and a premium. Standard is for someone who just kind of wants to flip their deeded week, maybe 1 getaway week. Plus is if you want to do some more. Premium is for people that really want to really see some passive income. So of course the standard is the cheapest, the plus is the middle, and the premium is the most expensive. If you can't cover, if my membership cost to any tier is an issue, I'd be the one telling you this isn't the right time, because not only are you going to need to cover the membership, you're also going to need some funds to purchase getaway weeks if I have that rental offer ready for you. So it's not going to do me any good to bargain or negotiate costs and this or that. So when you're speaking to those companies, you want to look for the symptoms. Do they lean on the BBB rating? That's another thing. Timeshare renters, we don't care about the BBB rating, not one bit. And the reason why, and it's not that I'm against the BBB, but the reason why is that they are a private company, and you can pay for your rating to be clean. You can pay for negative reviews to be erased, for your rating to go up. Since they have that factor, I don't care about the BBB. If they didn't have that factor about them, sure, I'd care about them. But since they have, I don't care. I really don't even want to be in it. I don't want to, no. Because a lot of my clients that come over that have been scammed before, when they tell me the company that scammed them, you look in the BBB, A+ rating. Oh, they look marvelous in the BBB. They look outstanding. But you look at their contract, the sale of a timeshare is not guaranteed. You look at their behavior, were they calling you every day? I have some clients that, from the company that scammed them, that the company still calls them. The company's got so many people that they've scammed, they don't even keep track of who they have or not. My client says, hey, I've already signed up with you. And they're still calling and pitching them. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at it's just the industry. So going back to cleaning up the industry, I think that if the resorts do it the right way from the beginning, I think it starts from the beginning. Target people who are already interested in renting. Still do the presentations. Tell the people that the presentation will be 4 hours. Stop with this 90-minute stuff. Just tell the truth. Drop the price on the cost of the timeshare. No more having people to finance the timeshares. If they can't buy the $2,500 or $5,000, if they can't buy it in full, tell them to come back when they're ready. That's what I would do. Like for my membership, I don't have a finance option, unless if you put it on your credit on your credit card, that's a way to finance it. But I don't have a finance option where you're financing through me or anything like that. I think that'll be how you clean the industry, because then that'll eliminate the companies on the back end that target the people who have timeshares. So now they can't call you up and say, hey, here's my evaluation of your timeshare. You can sell it for $30,000. They can't do that anymore because you only bought it for $2,000. Okay. And now you pair it up with the exchange company, and then you start flipping the getaway weeks. With your deeded time, you're only going to get 1 week a year, or every other year, or 2 weeks a year, just whatever you signed up for. Or if your 1 week is a 2-bedroom unit, that can be split into 2 1-bedroom weeks. But your deeded time is not going to be the passive income. It's the getaway weeks. Again, if you could go right to the exchange company and not be a timeshare owner, I'd say do that. And the name of our company will probably be Getaway Week Renters. The bulk of our business on the rental side is the getaway weeks. Now, of course, we rent the deeded time as well, but the bulk is by far the getaway weeks. But if you look at the exchange company as the fraternity, the club, the sorority, in order for you to get into that fraternity, you got to have a timeshare. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Joshua, I hope I touched on your point. Thank you for your comment. But again, would I say never get a timeshare? What I would say to that is, at the moment, never get a timeshare from the resort. If you guys want to go get some free food, get a gift certificate or whatever they're offering, sit through the presentation. Don't get the timeshare from the resort, because it will be overpriced. No matter what, they're going to start extremely high. And then when they see that you have some sort of interest, but they see that you can't afford it, then they do their tactics. They go and they get the next person and to come talk to you and this and that. And next thing you know, they dropped it down to 15,000 or 17, and it comes off like it's a discount. But you still are going to have to put down a down payment, unless if you have $17,000 right there that you can pay right there. Otherwise, you're going to have to put down a down payment, and then you're going to have to pay a monthly mortgage to something that you get access to 1 week out of the year. Now, of course, you get the getaway weeks, but still, to me, it's not worth a monthly mortgage. It takes the fun out of the ownership. And it's the beginning of deceit when you lie to people. When you tell somebody that it's a 90-minute presentation and the presentation is longer than that, that's a lie. When you say, hey, just come and just sit down and then I'm gonna give you this gift, you're not telling them that they're going to be solicited. They may just think that they're going to sit and hear something and that they can think about it on their own and that they're going to get this gift. They're not expecting to have a salesman or saleswoman that is trained to be extremely aggressive. They're not expecting that. So I think when it comes to cleaning the timeshare industry, it starts from the head. It starts with the resorts. Okay? That's my opinion. So if you're not a timeshare owner, and if you would like a timeshare and you don't want to pay the ridiculous price, and I'll say this to you as well, Joshua, if you have any interest, but if the cost is the issue, one of my services is that I can get you in a timeshare from somebody who essentially wants to give away the timeshare. The timeshare that I will get you will be paid off. It won't have an outstanding balance on it. The only thing that will be left are the maintenance fees, be it annual or every other year being biannual. I do have a service cost for that. But my service cost is going to cost you way less than what any timeshare resort is going to charge you. Now, if you want to avoid my cost, then I would say look independently. Do you know any timeshare owners who no longer are using their timeshare? Then you can ask them if you want to take over it. I would say make sure that the timeshare is paid off. Sometimes you might see timeshares, you might see somebody selling their timeshare for $1. Yeah, they might be selling it for $1, but read that description. Does the timeshare still have a balance on it? They might have sold it to you for $1, but you still got to pay $300 a month until the balance is paid, or whatever the monthly mortgage is. So the one that I would get you is not going to have a monthly mortgage, and in many cases it'll be either a Wyndham, a Hilton, a Marriott, or a Westgate. Okay, you compare it with the proper exchange companies, and you can start renting. So if you're interested, Joshua or anybody, pop a text over to me, 407-964-5184. You'll see that the number to timeshare renters, the 800, is 8335-RENTER. But my direct line is 407-964-5184. I will respond to you promptly. The reason I like to give out my cell phone number is because I'll give you my email as well. Chris, CHRIS, at timesharerenters.com. The thing is that, again, since the industry is kind of flawed, a lot of times when anything has the word timeshare in it, there's certain disciplines that automatically pop up. So if you send me an email, make sure to save my email address, because if you don't save it, my response sometimes may go to your junk until you actually save it and you let your email provider know this isn't scam, this isn't junk. So if you're going to email me, my email address is Chris, CHRIS, at timesharerenters.com. If you're going to email me, make sure to save my email. Make sure to give your email provider the thumbs up. Hey, this guy's a good guy. Otherwise, pop a text over to me, and then I'm going to respond to you promptly, and you and I are actually going to schedule for a phone call where you will be speaking with me directly. I hope that I provided content in this video, Joshua. I hope that I have provided a perspective that at least will make you think. If anybody liked this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. That'll mean a lot to me. I hope everybody stays safe. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.